Oftentimes when we talk about trolls or bullying on the internet, it involves men going after public figures or people who are vulnerable. But the latest case actually involves a 4-year-old girl who's being bullied by grown women for not being attractive enough. This little girl is Blue Ivy, the daughter of Beyonce and Jay-Z. And I couldn't even believe that this was happening because I thought, hey, you know, regardless of how despicable or disgusting trolls are, usually they stay away from kids. Kids are kind of off limits because they're innocent. They can't protect themselves. They can't defend themselves. But nonetheless, you have grown women tweeting pretty horrendous things about Blue Ivy. So let me tell you what some of those tweets say. One person tweeted, so are we all just supposed to pretend that Blue Ivy isn't ugly as hell forever? Okay, well.
What?
Yep, another person writes, or actually the same woman writes, Blue Ivy is ugly as sin and there's no way around it. Sorry. Another woman writes, I'm sorry, but I think Blue Ivy is an ugly baby. And then I'll read you one more. There were many, many more than this,
Oh, but
by
she
the way.
said she's sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Blue Ivy, ugly as shit, LOL. Poor thing looks like her father. Okay, so
Well,
these women are pigs, okay? And they're horrible. And the fact that you go after a freaking child and talk about the way she looks just shows how devastatingly depressing you are as a person. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, it really bothers me because, look, I think that there are feminists who raise a good point about how there's a lot of emphasis on the way women look and it's unfair because men don't get the same type of treatment. That is a very legitimate point. But you know what else is a legitimate point? That women tear one another apart just as much, sometimes even more viciously. And now you're hearing stories about women tearing down a 4-year-old. Who does that? Who does that?
It's people. I mean, obviously people with mental problems. So, but this became a thing? Like, was
Yeah.
it, like a lot of people were doing this?
There were a lot of tweets. Okay, let me give you guys a little background because there are all these stories that come out where it's like, oh, this outrage on Twitter and social media. And you come to find out that no, there really is an outrage. There's like 1 or 2 tweets where people are making a big deal out of nothing. I went into it to see if I could find tweets on my own. What are people really saying? No. There are tons of tweets where people are just tearing this little girl apart. She's 4.
I mean, okay, I'll play devil's advocate here for a second. Yeah,
Don't
I
play
will
devil's
because
advocate.
look, they're just trying to. I think there's definitely some people on there that are just horrible humans, and I think if there's anything that the internet taught us, it's that humans in general are just despicable when they think that they can hide under anonymity, okay?
They're not even anonymous.
I know, but what I'm saying is like those people, they're obviously trying to make a joke, and it's a shitty joke. It's not a good joke at all. They're not really thinking about the context. They're not thinking that they're making fun of a 4-year-old girl. But like some of the points in this article were like a little preposterous when they were like, oh, well, you're attacking a 4-year-old girl. 1, she has no idea what these people are saying. 2, she's never going to be able to shield herself from public scrutiny for the rest of her life because she's Jay-Z and Beyonce's child.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love for this. I would love for her to have a normal life like that every normal teenager deserves, but she's never going to have that. Now,
she's going to grow up. Think about this for a second, okay? She's going to grow up. Like, as soon as she can read and figure out what the internet is and what people are saying about her, the first thing that she's going to read is how ugly people think she is, right? And think about what that does to you as a child. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you want to make an argument that, hey, once you're an adult and you're in the real world, you can't shield yourself from scrutiny, believe me, I get that. But by the time you're an adult, I feel like you're a little more emotionally prepared to deal with it, even though it's still extremely difficult, okay? As a child, you shouldn't have to deal with people, adults, bullying you or coming after you because they don't think you're pretty enough. And by the way, these are not jokes. These were not written with the intent of making a funny joke. These were written to
I think they were more.
4-year-old.
Well, some of them were like trying to make fun of Jay-Z. They were saying like, oh, because Beyonce is beautiful, Jay-Z is not necessarily the most attractive dude, whatever. But it's a subjective concept regardless. But I think that was more so like, oh, she got Jay-Z's genes. Like that was kind of what some of the jokes were trying to allude to. But again, this shows how like horribly desperate, depressed, and despicable these people are, rather than, I mean, on average, how humans are on the internet, especially, than the impact that this is going to have on this baby's life, considering we can't really think of how this person is going to live out her life because we have no concept. Like, there's no one, we've never seen a celebrity of that magnitude at that age before. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's up to Jay-Z and Beyonce to obviously raise her as well as they can and shield her and protect her like parents are supposed to do, but the stakes are so much higher because she's just in the public light.
I feel terrible for this little girl.
Me too. The Obama girls are also raised.
That
Yes,
I was gonna mention that too. Yeah.
point.
And you know, I think they're doing okay. I mean, it's a weird thing to grow up in the spotlight. That's got to be unbelievable.
You power the Young Turks. We do this all through membership. tytnetwork.com/join. Let's build the media that we can believe in.